All right, welcome to my Sunday stock watch. I hope you guys all had a wonderful weekend, but it is now time to get back to work. So first thing I want to update you guys on is the fact that Trump is really trying to push the government to reopen, and they are actually voting on a bill tonight, and they may actually be reopening before tomorrow, before Monday, which would be good news. So we'll go over the economic calendar, but again, it just depends if they actually do end up reopening. Now for Monday, we don't have any news, which is good. So what I am already projecting to see for Monday is a bit of a market rally, especially after Friday's downside. Ideally is something that I would want to see, but we'll touch on that more in a bit. Tuesday, we again don't have much going on for Tuesday. No news Tuesday. For Wednesday, we do have a lot of Fed speakers, and they will be talking. So it is something you have to be aware of and understand. So we have about 5 Fed speakers. A lot of Fed speakers for Wednesday. Now for Thursday, I believe we were supposed to get some CPI, PPI data, initial jobless claims, all of this that we haven't seen, obviously, since the government's been shut down. And then for Friday, same sort of deal here, all this news that we have not got because the government has been shut down. So if we do reopen, please make sure to take another look at this, prepare yourself, and keep up to date with the news, because since there's other economic data events that have not yet come out, they may newly be scheduled. We may see a new schedule this week. Just make sure to, keep watch. Now, as far as earnings go for this next week, there's not a whole lot I'm watching for. On Monday, I'll be watching for CoreWeave and BBAI and probably Rocket Lab. So those are a couple names. On Tuesday, there's no earnings I really care about. Maybe Beyond Meat and OKLO. Those are two names. Again, they're kind of like, I'm not going to say meme stocks, but you know what I mean. Wednesday, my beloved Circle is reporting pre-market, which might set us up for a good setup after they report, but we'll see. And then on Thursday, we have Disney reporting pre-market. But other than that, again, not a huge week for earnings. We already saw most of our big tech earnings, thankfully. So we already saw those. But yeah, next, let's move on. So as of right now, market just opened. So Qs is up almost a whole percent, which is not a surprise at all, especially regarding last week's downside move, or Friday's downside move at least. So Qs is up almost 1%, SPY is up 0.5%, and then a couple other names that I'm going to be watching for going forward, like Circle after they report on Wednesday. I'll be watching Meta as well this week. I'll be watching MSTR, Coinbase, all those names. So we'll take a quick look at those, and especially as well, I'll be watching Palantir for a nice bounce setup, and we're already up over 2% overnight market, so that is a good sign there. But yeah, let's go take a look at the charts. So first thing is Qs. Obviously, we had a really nice amount of downside most of the week, and then we bounced at this key 600 level, which made perfect sense. So anyways, now that we're trading more closer to 614, we're kind of in between some key areas. 610 is a key area, and then we have our upper levels around 615 to like 618. That's more of our supply zone. So I either want to see us trade back into like 612, 610 range and get a bounce and then continue higher, but we might just continue higher going into tomorrow since it's a no news Monday. But then again, if the government reopens tonight, we'll see how the market reacts to that. It could be even a bigger rally, or we could get downside. Really just depends. No guessing though. We'll just take it how it goes. So the ranges that I'm expecting for this upcoming week, a little bit tough because again, if the government opens, we'll get news. You guys get it. You guys get the point. So if we can stay nicely above 610 though for Qs, I would love to see back into 621 area this week, potentially even higher, even to 625. So we'll see going forward. And then we have SPY. SPY, same sort of thing. So we bounced on this lower area around 662, 63 range. And now we're trading back around 674. So, since we're trading above 674, I'm expecting the same sort of range. I would want to see us come back into 670 and get a bounce. But if we just trade higher going into tomorrow, we could easily see back above 675 and then trade into almost 680 range. So that's kind of what I'm expecting for SPY. And then if we can get above 680, we could easily see back nearing those all-time highs going forward with the rest of this week. Now, for some other names I'm watching, Bitcoin obviously has had time over the weekend to get a really nice bounce. So we're back trading at 106, which is nice because we did end up holding 100 mostly, for the most part, on Bitcoin, which is a good sign. And when the government does reopen, that's generally more bullish for Bitcoin, based on what we saw. But again, that was a really long time ago, so it's hard to tell. But for Bitcoin, going forward, like MSTR, so I do want to see us hold above 252 to 254 area and potentially continue higher if Bitcoin can continue into like 107 to 108 range and hold 108. I really want to see a nice continuation of MSTR above 252, continuing into potentially this 260 area. Now, Coin, which faced a lot of downside last week, and we even dropped back into this 280 range, which is tough, but let's see. We're trading around, I believe, 322. So if we can continue to hold up the 320 area, 321, or trade further into 320, I would love to see a bounce on there. And then we could definitely reach 330 is what I'm looking for. And then it just depends on the rest of this week, how everything goes with Bitcoin and Coinbase. So again, really just depends there. Meta is a name I'm watching as well. We did face a lot of downside over the past couple of weeks on Meta, and I think that 600 was a really good bounce area for us. So currently, I believe we're trading around 627, so not super unchanged from, we're trading almost at 630. So slightly unchanged from Friday's close. But if we can continue above 630, I would love to see into 640, 645, even back to 650 as long as we could hold up there. Or we could potentially get a retrace into 625 to 620 and get a nice bounce. So that's another thing that I'm watching and looking for as well. Now, another name is Tesla. Tesla's price action has been a little wonky recently, so I do hope that we can find a sort of middle ground. So Tesla's trading at 435, slightly unchanged from Friday, not a huge move. So either we trade back into this 428, 425 area and can get a bounce from there, or we can continue higher, hold above 435, and continue into 440, 442 range is kind of what I want to see. But I would also like for Tesla to stop being kind of crazy with its price action. That would be great too. But another name we'll take a look at, Nvidia. So Nvidia obviously faced a very large amount of downside on Friday, all the way back into 178, which was definitely a key spot. So if we take a look at Nvidia right now, which is trading at 192, if we could continue to hold up 190, I would love to see us back trading into 195 to near 200 level this week. So that's one thing I want to see. And then we have Palantir, which I believe is trading around 184 right now. So if we could hold up 185, we could easily see back into that 190 range on Palantir. Or if we could head lower and get a nice bounce off of 181, that would also be extremely ideal. But those are the few names that I'm looking at this week, mainly focusing on crypto names and a couple tech names, keeping the list short, not trying to overwhelm myself or you guys either. But anyways, that'll be it for my Sunday stock watch. Please, please, please keep up to date with the news, if the government reopens, if we're going to see a change in the economic calendar for this week because the government reopens. Please, all eyes on that. Make sure you're paying attention. Make sure you're watching for that. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great and wonderful rest of your Sunday, and I will see you all next time.